So the next set is in red. What's the difference between the green and red here?
Well, the ones that are sort of orangey red are volatility measures. ASD stands for annualized standard deviation, which is, we'll have a video for you to look at. You can click on that and see a more detailed explanation, but simply it's just volatility. It's the range by which in a normal market, a fund return can vary up or down in a normal market. Now, normal market is defined as 68% of the time. The average annual return, if you use 1 year ASD, and Jack, go ahead and click that, get rid of 15 and 20 to give us a little bit more screen space. And then go in and click on 1 year average annual return. Okay, so here you see 13.58, and you see an average 1 year return of 32.84. What that means is in a normal market, that average return could vary by plus 13.58 or negative 13.58. In other words, it could be 13.58 more than the 32. Okay. Now you change that by removing one of those columns. So now I've got a different number and 1 year return. That's fine. But now it's 13.83% more than 43.69 or less 13.83 below 43.69. So this becomes important in down markets because in a 95%, a 2 standard deviation, you would multiply that number by 2. In the 2008-2009 market crash, that was considered a 3 standard deviation down market, which meant that was 1 quarter out of 25 years. So that was the worst market for most in living memory. You would have multiplied that number by, if this was, and go to 20. Well, I don't know, Jack. I do 3 standard deviations was a 25-year event. Let's just do 5 year. Put 5 year in, and then give me 5 year standard deviation. Now, here's what this means. If this is the volatility, the average return differential, in other words, the variance over 5 years, and you can see if we've got a 5 year return here of 19.03, and you subtract 16.59 from that, you're going to get a little over 2%. That's the downside in a normal market. It could vary between that and 30 over 35, which is adding 16.59 to that average number. And the reason why that becomes important is because if the market gets a lot more volatile, that number could be double. It could be a 2 standard deviation down market, and this will let you know what the downside risk is. Now, another one that does that, and Jack, go in and put, open the factors and look at downside deviation for 5 years. This is the downside of that without the upside. So standard deviation is up or down. This is the variance. Downside deviation over the last 5 years is just how much this has deviated to the downside over the average over that period. So this really lets you zero in on risk. and what's the downside potential of these. And you can see that in a down market, a number of these will still, in a normal market, a number of these will still yield a positive return. But if you get a market correction, a significant market correction, you're going to get possibly losses, but this will help you figure out what your exposure is.